slowly got up out of bed. He was taking his time. He didn't bother to change out of his costume. Fuck no, he was lazy. He got up, stretched, popping a few bones in his back, twisting himself left and right, trying to release the kinks and creaks that were disturbing him. After a few satisfying pops from his body, he got up fully and walked over, took a deep breath, and opened the door and looked to see who was there. Hello?
Surprise!
Foxen was momentarily jumped by a certain pink devil. He said, "Oh, hey Pinky, what's up?"
Oh, nothing. Just Twilight's coming by to ask you a few questions.
Indeed. Well, is that all you wanted?
Nope. That's all.
Foxen felt content. Said, yeah, I'll see you at the party, I guess, he said, smiling.
Ooh, the party. Yes, the party.
Yeah, he mentioned it before we went off to get some sleep. Bye for now, Foxen said as he slowly pushed the door closed. After it was fully closed and he was back in his safe haven, he went about getting himself some food to eat. Just waiting for when Miss Twilight would come. Foxen looked up. He just had a rather nice meal. Some bananas, a few apple slices, some beef jerky that he still had in one of his pockets that he carried around. God knows why. He got up from the couch he was sitting on, moved over, and opened the door, looking out to see who was there, and simply said, hello?
Hello. I am Twilight Sparkle, Princess of Friendship. And you may be?
At this point, Foxen being Foxen, some would call him, well, incredibly retarded, as immediately a few things flashed through his mind, which he didn't care to share. He leaned against the door and said, "Foxen, what brings a lovely young lady such as yourself down here?"
Nothing. Just wanted to ask you a few questions about your race and your culture.
My race and culture? Sure, I can answer some questions on our culture. I mean, you do know that me and you are the same race, right?
You never know when it comes to new people, ponies, or...
I guess, yeah, since I'm wearing all of this, my traditional culture, like garments. Anyway, step right on in, he said as he moved back, letting Twilight in.
I didn't know there was another one of you.
What do you mean?
The other one on the bed.
Boxon turned and realized out of his stupor and said, yeah, sorry, don't worry about him. He's special. He said while closing the door. Anyway, make yourself at home. Do you want anything to drink or eat?
No, thank you.
So, anyway, what questions do you want to ask?
Well, the question I want to ask is, what brings you to Ponyville?
Well, you see, me and my friend, we've been out here for a little while now. Well, after a bashful meeting through the forest, we decided, hey, why not just head somewhere? We've been wandering for a long time now. You know, just trying to get a lay of the land. After we had a split from our last place, he said, smiling behind his mask.
So, why the dark garments around you, and why the mask?
Oh. Well, you see, we're known as the Sith.
The Siths?
Yeah, you know, the Sith. You probably haven't heard of us. We're kind of a very secret people. You know, some of our leaders were... Boxon tried to think back of all the lore that his buddy had explained to him, Imperial, and snapped to him. Well, our leaders like Darth Bane and Darth Sidious. There are a few key people like Darth Maul and Darth Vader. Yeah, the Sith are... were... You tried to think of something to lie about. Knowing the Sith and how they were the main antagonist in the Star Wars universe, you tried to think of something to say. The Sith we're like ancient monks, is what I could best say. We're an organization that's gifted. We try to find peace and tranquility within ourselves. He says, smiling.
Oh, almost like the Cestrals. The Cestrals?
Sure, kind of.
But what does Darth mean?
Well, what does dark mean?
Darth.
Oh, Darth. It's one of the... It's a individual, Darth Vader. You see, Darth Vader, he tried to think back of more of this lore that he practically knew next to nothing about. He took a deep breath and said, well, a Darth is a title that's given to certain Sith Sith Lords, I'd guess. Garfs are kind of like Sith Lords, but not entirely.
I see. So, why does your friend over there have his stuff on him while he sleeps?
Well, you see, the road was long and tiresome, and making our way here was no easy task. Me and Tim grew very tired, and when we lay down, we just didn't take off our garments. We passed out. And for a Sith to remove their garment in front of people like you, such as themselves, is an act of trust and an act of friendship. See, if I was to trust you fully, I'd take off my robe, take off my helm, but Siths limit their trust with many other people due to the extensive history that we've had.
Wait. Oh no. I forgot to take notes.
He looks and laughs a little bit. Don't worry, it's okay. Just, here. Foxen proceeds to go over, after stepping up and looking through a few drawers. After finding a conveniently placed notebook, he takes it, goes over, grabs her writing utensil, and starts writing down everything they've been talking about for the past few minutes, then giving it to her. Keep it. Now, let's continue talking, he says.
Well, have the Sith ever been at war?
Fox intends majorly at this, but he tried to limit the visibility of it, which was, well, pretty easy to notice. Yes, we have unfortunately been at war.
Well, that is not kind to know.
Well, Foxen immediately turned it around by saying, well, we had no other choice. We wished to avoid war at all costs, but yet the Jedi, their culture was very manipulative. They have... Foxen turned his head down and said, they've taken a lot from me. They've destroyed many things that Sith have built. They destroy our culture. They destroy our land. They pillage what little we have left. So, we fought back. We managed to push them a great deal. Yet, we remain two equal forces, battling against each other. They have taken many things from me. The Jedi, they're very dangerous. He says, staring directly at Twilight.
Oh. I'm sorry for your people.
It's fine.
Do you mind if I use my magic to figure out how strong your magic is?
Might I ask why?
I can't tell, but your friend and you seem like you should have magic, but you're not showing it.
Well, I can use magic, yes. Or some form of it, he says, staring. If you would like, I can demonstrate, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
He stares at her, thinking, what could he possibly do? For an example, he looked around and just wondered. He said, see this table to the side, for example?
Yes, why?
Well, he reached out his hand, focused on the table. Foxen knew he had this ability within him. He'd been fucking around, trying to find out. He knew the Sith had powers, and he knew the Jedi had powers. And eventually, he'd been able to figure out a few key things he had. Foxen focused, concentrated. He stared at the small, decently sized table. After a little bit, he raised his hand slightly, and lo and behold, the table began to levitate off the ground.
How is this possible? There's no magic aura around it.
Then he lowered the table and looked and said, well, the Sith were a different culture of people. We've learned to unlock magic in an entirely new way than what the common pony.
Which one can I have?
We're not higher nor below them. I mean, I could teach anyone how to do this kind of magic. However, it is dangerous.
Well, seeing that it's getting closer to lunch, I'm going to ask you one last question.
Yes.
Have you... Huh.
Go on, Twilight. How about what?
If the Sith have been at war, were you a part of it? Did you have a master?
I was a part of the war, yes. It was a very tough time. My time fighting the Jedi. I have failed. In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failure. I had failed to protect someone, which, in turn, caused my banishment. Foxen decided to say, fuck it. He might as well come up with a really badass origin story. And hey, it would cover. I mean, why else would they be away? Why else would two Siths from a supposedly, alive culture be out here in the first place? extent of my failure resulted in a banishment, where I was banished and sent out from the confines of my people, out here, he said, staring at Twilight. I had failed to protect one who could not defend themselves. Child, the Jedi, had struck the child down, killing him. And before I could intervene. But I managed to vanquish the Jedi. But it was too late. Child was very important. And then I was banished for my failing. My friend came with. Now I search for redemption.
Before I go, what's your friend doing? Your
Hey, Imperial.
You telling her that lie? We both got banished. I was a Darth, and you were my apprentice. I sent you on one simple job, and it ended me getting banished.
Whatever. My story sounds cooler.
Lies is never the way to go.
Foxen rolled his eyes as he pushed himself up and simply walked over to the refrigerator, just rummaging through it. Yeah, whatever. Get off my ass.
Not wise to talk to your master that way.
Foxen poked his head out, and Imperial could easily see the shit-eating grin over his face. Master, huh? That's a new one. He could tell he was being flirtatious, being his normal stupid self. Foxen then just said, "Okay, I'm sorry, Master. You know I like to mess around." Foxen knew that Imperial, for whatever reason, he sensed it, he felt it. Imperial was stronger than him. Not just by a margin, by a whole fucking door. He felt the strength of them. Both of them had their advantages and disadvantages. He then looked over to Twilight and said, "Yeah, he's Darth, and I'm an apprentice. He's above me. And eventually I will rise to the rank of Sith Lord. And I don't know what that means for me, but I will rise eventually."
Rise eventually you must. Become a lord you must.
He looked over and said, moving over to him, leaning in, whispering, Jar Jar Binks is possibly, and will possibly, always be the worst character in Star Wars, he said, moving away.
Only I talk like this.
He rolled his eyes and said, "Anyway, so, Miss, Twilight, yes, Miss Sparkle, or whatever you go by. We're gonna get ready. I mean, unless you want to stay and watch me shower."
No. I'll let you two do whatever you do. I'll just be at the Castle of Friendship, where the party's going to be taking place.
Is there anybody I should be looking out for? And I mean, while we're walking outside, who might come up to us?
Probably the princess, but I don't know.
He sat there and said, "Wait, the princess?"
I kinda got nervous seeing a new culture and all, and wrote a letter to Princess Celestia.
So basically what you're saying is you saw two ponies that were different, of a different culture. You got scared, thought they were hostile in some way, or somehow powerful. And then you contacted your princess, and then her and whatever army guard she has came, and now they're most likely in Ponyville, is what you're saying.
Kind of.
Alright, Foxen said, stepping toward her, wrapping his arm around her shoulder and walking with her to the door. Well, Miss Sparkle, it's been a pleasure meeting you, it's been a pleasure having you. I really hope that maybe we can continue this some other time, as a beautiful mare such as yourself. He walked up. Foxen walked her outside, out the door, and said, "Anyway, ta-ta, Sparkle," he said, closing the door and locking, turning around and looking directly at Imperial and said, "Darth, so what, you just put the sticker on yourself? You put the little pretend badge that you're higher than me somehow?" He said, smirking.
Hey, I know more about the Star Wars universe. You just watched the TV series. And the movies.
Not even TV, just a movie, he said.
Well, at least I know more.
And that does what for you? He said, smirking.
What it does for me? Well, kind of. Basically, I know more about the Sith history than you do.
I know more about real history, he said with a shit-eating grin.
Yeah? Are we in that history no more? No, we're on a different planet now.
Foxen then just looked at him and said, "I'm going outside, fuck this," he said, moving over, grabbing his lightsaber, and attaching it to his belt as he moved to the door.
Wait for me!
Foxen slammed the door, waiting for him outside, tapping his foot impatiently.
You really need to get some anger issues.
"I need to get some anger issues?" he said, raising an eyebrow slowly.
Yes.
"So I have anger issues, and I need to get more anger issues."
No, you need to get a cat.
"Why a cat?" Foxen said.
Because they're bitches.
Foxen stared at him, just with a deadpan look, and said, "Yeah, your logic makes 0 sense." Rolling his eyes, stuffing his hands in his pockets.
Well, the reason why they are bitches is because they attack you when you're trying to play with them.
"That's because they're pussies," he said, staring at him.
Okay, let's just get walking.
Foxen and him were just walking through town. Imperial could sense something. He didn't know what it was, but he could sense something coming from Fox. It was very strong. It was unnaturally strong. That was something that Imperial had that Fox didn't know about. He could sense things. He could feel things. He could sense emotion. Both of them can sense life forms, sure, but he could always sense something deeper. He could sense a few feelings. Foxen was somehow content, at peace in a few different areas. However, the one weakness that he had at the moment was he was very depressed, deep in thought, and slightly unfocused. But still, somehow, some part of him was still at peace. Foxen didn't say anything, and just kept walking, waiting for Imperial or something to happen.
Foxen. I can sense something troubling your mind. Care to tell?
Foxen looked over and said, It's nothing. Foxen said, and Imperial could immediately sense he was lying.
Ever since we got here, I've been able to sense your emotions.
Foxen didn't stop, but turned and looked at him. Your point?
It is unwise to have a clouded mind.
And what do you want me to do about it?
Open yourself up like a book.
At this point, Imperial realized something. At this moment, he could take the stand and technically, in a way, be Fox's mentor, as he did assign himself as Darth, and he was stronger, too. Way stronger than Fox. So he could technically be his mentor in this, guide him through whatever was going on. Foxen seemed reluctant to share. He could tell that Foxen was scared to share because it might open vulnerability. And there was a part of him that didn't want to risk it.
I'm going to say this, Foxen. If you have fear, you can never face down anything. You will always be weak. You can never be strong. Fear will stop you from becoming for what you truly can be. But fear can be used as a weapon. It can only be chosen by its user. But the user is stronger than the emotions. So, what is having you at your mind?
New emotions immediately erupted whenever he said this. I'm afraid, I guess. Afraid and upset is all.
Does this have anything to do with us getting stuck in this world?
Some areas, yeah. It does. It's just... I'm just tired. He said, rubbing his eyes slowly. I'm just very tired. There's so much... I don't know what to expect. A lot's happened. There's so much that can be done and said, and I'm just tired.
Wanting death will not help that tiredness. You will only give in to what the Grim Reaper only wants for you. But people may ask this, but no one may do it. You will only find your true potential if you get rid of that stuff that's holding you down. This is a new world, a new fresh beginning. But this beginning cannot do it by itself. It needs you to guide it. It needs you to be its captain.
Alright. I guess so.
Wait, Foxen.
What's up?
Do you feel that?
Feel? Foxen stopped and really thought and said, yeah, I feel that, but this...
The sense of death. It's passing through the force.
What could it be?
This only means one thing, Foxen. Something, or what I think it is come back for his revenge.
And why do you think that?
Because I can see a Timberwolf.
He looked over and lo and behold, there was Timberwolf. That's really bad.
Watch and learn, Foxen. Hey, Mutt! You want some chew choy? Come over here and get some. I can do better than that. Hey, doggy! Hey, doggy! Come over here! Come over here! Come over here and get the bird!
As he was saying this, the wolf looked over, stared at him, growled and snarled, and then two more popped out right behind. Well, this situation's increasingly getting more fun, Hawkinson commented, staring at him.
Yeah, that's one thing you never want to say.
And then two more wolves popped up, making 5 Timberwolves, all charge, charging directly toward them. They were in a market. A pony screamed next to them, and chaos erupted. Everyone began running around in direction. Sheer panic. Foxen looked over and stared at Imperial and nodded his head.
Farm 3! Igniting your lightsaber, you began doing Form 3. This form is known as the Unbreakable Form. It was used as Kenobi's main defense. But it'll be used as an attack this time. Against 3 wolves, while 2 come at Foxen. Doing 3 simple swings, you manage to cut off one of their legs. One injuring their shoulders. Another decapitating. With them coming right back at you, you killed them. Looking back at Foxen, you see that he's having a bit of a trouble. You having a bit of a little problem, Foxy?
Foxen steps back a little bit and swings his saber, decapitating the first wolf easily. However, the second one was enthusiastic. It was slightly smaller than the rest of the wolves. It simply ran around behind him and jumped up on its back. And Foxen was unskillfully flailing around, panicking. And Imperial was just watching.
Looks like someone made a little friend.
Foxen stared at Imperial while flailing around, being a man, of course, about it, staring at that cunt. But he decided not to press anything on it. He reached up and tried to grab the wolf, only for the thing to bite, clamping down on his hand. Foxen shouted in pain as he yanked the little thing off, tossed it on the floor, and raised his boot and stomped its head in. Imperial immediately heard the sound of growling and gnashing teeth. To his right, seeing that, lo and behold, 3 more Timberwolves rushed out of the trees, snarling and growling. And they were coming for him.
Oh, Shiza. Here we go again. You managed to stop 3 of them at once, only withstanding one of your arms being badly torn. This was getting aggravating for you, having to let yourself get hurt by these insolent wolves. These insolent wolves that have nothing against you. Nothing at all. Without warning, the next wolf that charged right at you, you flinged your arm out, with tentacles coming right out of the ground where the wolf was, wrapping around it, with the wolf trying to get its way out of it. But you were not having none of it. One thing that you knew right now was to start saying words. Words which would never even make sense to anyone. As you could see the wolf flailing around, trying to get free of the tentacles that surround it. You could feel its life force, its energy draining away, and you having it right in you. We heal with your arm, not hurting that much after it. The only thing that was going through your mind was, you just use Force Net. Seeing around that there was no more wolves, or Timberwolves to be exact, you just walked over to the foxen that was laying on the ground. Seeing that the force was a little bit more stronger than it was a few hours ago.
Foxen looked up and saw Imperial. And said, "Hey, bud, you were a little busy." In the time that Imperial was fighting, a few wolves came out, while Foxen was encased in a raid, killing that other wolf. He stared up at him and said, "Well, wolves are a lot faster than I gave them credit for," he says, holding his side.
Yeah, no shit. You look like a piece of shit.
Foxen stared up at him and said, "And you're a cunt waffle. But hey, I don't point that out." Foxen pushed himself up without his help. He stared at Imperial and said, "You're hurt."
Yeah? I don't feel it.
Fucking idiot. He grabbed him and then Imperial felt a soothing light course through his body as his wounds mended and healed. He could tell that this was another power that Foxen had, Force Heal, as he began healing him. Foxen was still bleeding nevertheless and said, "You gotta take better care of yourself, you idiot."
At least I wasn't laying on the ground.
Foxen rolled his eyes as he began healing himself, ignoring the quip. "Well, I mean, we took care of all those wolves," Foxen said, looking around to see if there was any ponies left, or if there were any out there.
There's a mint green pony right next to us.
Foxen stared at the mint green pony and said, "Hi, what's up?"
Humans! Oh.
Foxen snapped his head to Imperial.
Knock her out!
And then snapped it back. Foxen stopped Imperial from knocking her out and said, how do you know that?"
Well, it's simply obvious. You hide your faces with masks.
Foxen began getting curious as he stepped closer to Lyra.
And also...
Sorry for interrupting you. Continue. He laughed as he stepped closer to Lyra.
And also... you use blades of light. There's no technology that Equestria or anyone on Equus has like that.
Foxen reached his hand out and just began scratching her ears. "Man, I didn't know how cute you ponies are."
Foxen?
Yeah? Foxen said, turning around.
At the party, I'm going to make you a lord. I want you to take Lyra as your apprentice. She has...
Foxen stared. He lifted up his